1897, a year of jubilee. London was gay and the fashions were new. The bustle was gone and skirts had become tight on the hips and wide at the hem. And women began to claim the new freedoms they were to win in the coming century. Dining out, for example, hardly proper up till now, became the smartest thing to do. And with the larger audience of public life, a greater opulence appeared in women's clothes. But it was the rage for cycling that was the main feature of the 1890s. This sport, which brought to the park each morning all the ladies of smart society, opened up a new field of dress designing in which Britain took the lead. And more than anything, it started women on the path that was to free them from the encumbrance of too much clothing. As the 19th century ended, the old queen died and the whole land mourned. Then black gave way to lighter colors and the country decked itself to meet a new century and a new sovereign. The orgy of Edwardian fashions had begun. Red became the color of the hour. Geranium, old rose, vermilion and scarlet. Appropriate colors for the year of coronation. Now began a series of seasons that were unexampled in their splendor. A new Parisian gaiety was infused into the London scene. Edward's court was the smartest in Europe, and though Paris had the couturiers, London set the style. But fashion was for the rich, and the rich alone. For the onlookers and the girl who went to work, there were only serviceable clothes in plain but sturdy fabrics. But for those in high society, there was opulence unlimited. Never were petticoats more elaborate. Often they rivaled in richness the dresses under which they were worn. The feminine silhouette was imposed by the corset, which formed a vertical line in front, threw the bust forward and pushed the hips back, so giving every woman an S-shaped swan appearance. Day dresses excelled evening dresses in luxury. Said a writer, "It is the simplest thing in the world to develop a suffocatingly smart appearance. 100 gowns a year are none too many for a woman with a reputation for dressing." For tennis, there were the most ravishing outfits. And for the sportswoman, this severely tailored suit in tweed with matching cap. Bathing costumes had pouched fronts and dipping waistbands, flared skirts and shoulder puffs, knickers below the knee, and sometimes even corsets and stockings. The less energetic could wear this gorgeous gown for a walk in the park or attendance at a garden party, and with such diaphanous dresses went hats of an airy fairiness that matched. So clothed, the ladies of society passed serenely through the first decade of the century, moving en bloc to Biarritz or Monte Carlo when the London season ended. Was it the vivid sets and dresses of Leon Bakst for the Diaghilev Ballet, or the oriental creations of the French designer Paul Poiret that most influenced the dramatic change in fashion in the year 1910? Whichever it was certain that all the great fashion houses sought inspiration from the gorgeous East. Women resumed an upright position. Skirts became so narrow that the elegante had to adapt her walk to a waddle, and she truly presented the strangest spectacle, for hats achieved startling dimensions. This one, for example, in black straw, with a mammoth brim, is trimmed with an avalanche of wisteria. And here is one in purple plush with a bird of paradise for decoration. Feathers, always feathers, for they are as much a sign of wealth as furs. Tailor-mades were universally popular, and in this field, Britain, as with sports clothes, led the world both in design and materials. With the new styles, petticoats were out, and it became the fashion to wear fitted combinations over corset and pantalettes. The corsets now were shorter at the top and lower over the hips. Black Ascot, 1910. Edward was dead and George reigned. But still, the entertainments grew in number and magnificence. London glittered, the brightest capital in Europe. And gowns became ever more sumptuous. To women, this was the greatest age of dress, when the English couturiers were at their height, adapting, modifying, and embellishing the models created by the famed Parisian designers, of whom Paul Poiret was the chief.